Now, from WBRZ News 2, this is Tune In.
Well, breaking overnight, police and the coroner called to a home on Carr Alley in St. Joseph. That's in the Old South Baton Rouge neighborhood after a shooting. Officials say a homeowner shot and killed a man trying to break into their home just before 2 a.m. According to District Attorney Hiller Moore, the shooting appears to be justified.
Right now, they'll continue to investigate, and they'll write their reports, do all the ballistics, autopsy, regular routine, and eventually we'll meet again to discuss any other further developments and eventually make a final decision.
DA says that more witnesses will be questioned later this morning to figure out what happened. We'll have more in this developing story as the information is released.
Also new this morning, one person sent to the hospital after a shooting outside a gas station happened on South Sherwood Forest near North Harrell's Ferry around 11:30 last night. The victim was reportedly shot in the arm. No word on a possible suspect.
All right, we are following breaking news at this hour in the Glen Oaks area of Baton Rouge.
Crime scene tape is up at the corner of Maplewood Drive and Matthews after a reported shooting. Tune In's Michael Vincento is at the scene and has all the details for us this morning. Michael, do we know what's going on? Here's a look at stories making headlines on this Wednesday.
The body of a child found hours after firefighters battled this raging fire in an apartment complex in Baton Rouge. Fire broke out at the Cedar Woods Apartments off Cedar Crest just after 7 Tuesday night. Everyone was able to get out of the building except a 5-year-old. Her body was found around 11:30 last night. 4 other people were hurt as they escaped the flames. The American Red Cross is assisting those residents displaced. Cause of this fire still under investigation.
Judge Neil Gorsuch has been picked by President Donald Trump to replace late Justice Antonin Scalia on the U.S. Supreme Court. Senate Republicans already backing him, but several Democrats are questioning whether he falls within the legal mainstream. Democrats could also challenge the nomination because Republicans refuse to vote on former President Obama's pick.
And the countdown continues to the Super Bowl on Sunday. And one thing there won't be a shortage of is security. An estimated 73,000 fans are expected to be in Houston this weekend for the big game. And this morning, local, federal, state, and private agents are working around the clock making sure security measures are set. They've actually been working on the game's security for a few years now. More than 5,000 officers will be patrolling the area.
And those are the ones that you can see. We are just days into March and the severe weather season is here. That's why we want to make sure you're prepared. It's Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Meteorologist Robert Gautreaux is live this morning at the National Weather Service in Slidell, where they monitor the weather around us. Hey, Robert, good morning again. Looks like you got a packed house there at the Weather Service.
Yeah, people are starting to trickle in here, JP, and there's a lot of work that goes on at the National Weather Service. It's quite different from what you see us do on TV.
And we continue with more on the destruction left behind in southeast Louisiana after a number of tornadoes touched down, destroying some communities.
The governor has declared a state of emergency for 7 parishes, including Ascension and Livingston. Cleanup is underway this morning in many communities on both sides of the Mississippi River, starting with utility crews working to restore power in several areas. And one of the hardest hit areas from the storm was New Orleans East. The damage is being described as the worst since Katrina. At least 20 injuries were reported in New Orleans alone after a tornado rolled over the area.
Closer to Baton Rouge, residents in the Donaldsonville area are counting their blessings after surviving a twister touchdown there.
Just can't believe it. I just thank God I'm here. I'm still alive.
Cell phone footage shows the tornado that crashed through the city. Many homes in the downtown area were destroyed. Hours after the storm, Governor Edwards toured storm damage areas from the sky across the region. Those whose lives were spared are thanking a higher power.
The rumbling sound coming over me and tumbling over the house, and I didn't know what it was, you know. But God was with me.
And I thank God that no one was seriously injured or we didn't lose any lives. But the most challenging thing was just to make sure that we assessed the area to make sure that everybody was safe.
Now, Mayor Sullivan did report at least one injury. A woman was hit in the head by flying debris. And Tune In's Michael Vincento is live in Donaldsonville this morning with the very latest. Hey, Michael, good morning again. Describe the scene there. What's the damage like this morning?
Well, JP, the most common theme we're seeing out here is there's a lot of debris, whether it's in trees or in these houses behind us.
It will take about 25 years to solve traffic problems in the Baton Rouge area.
That's the long-term plan of the Capital Region Planning Commission. The group is holding open houses for residents in 5 parishes to weigh in on the next great traffic solution. First meeting was yesterday in West Baton Rouge Parish. Residents got a chance to look at maps, take an online survey, talk one-on-one with those who will be implementing the changes. Among the solutions, widening roads, creating a loop around Baton Rouge, and even mass transportation.
To lighten the congestion with some mass transit options, some ride sharing, perhaps a bus or a shuttle system would really help us to lessen the amount of cars on the roadway.
Next public meeting is tonight in Iberville Parish at the St. Gabriel Community Center, tomorrow in Livingston Parish. And if you'd like to share your traffic concerns, just go to our website, WBRZ.com, to take the survey. On the crime beat, Alan Turner under arrest 2 months after police say he shot and killed a man. Turner is accused of death 35-year-old Devin Johnese after the two got into an argument inside a seafood store at the corner of Jefferson and North 23rd in January. Turner apologized to the victim's family before police took him away to be booked. A tip led police to Turner. Well, speaking out about crime, that's the message from a Stop the Violence march and rally in Baton Rouge.
See something, say something. When you see something, say something.
Well, the rain didn't stop dozens of people from hitting the streets, taking a stand against violence. Members of the Elm Grove Baptist Church, along with community activists and city officials, marched with signs starting on North 38th Street. Now, this is the third year the church has hosted the event.
This community is like so many others with poverty that breeds violence against the people who lead in the community or who live in the community. And so we want to be a voice to bring a stop to all of that.
Just last week, a man was found shot to death inside a vehicle a street over from the church. Police haven't made an arrest in the Corsi Hollins murder case just as of yet. The Rouse's grocery store in Gonzales will be open today after it was forced to close a few hours because of a scare. A suspicious package was found by the front door at the location on Duplessis Road around noon Sunday. The store was cleared out as a precaution. According to the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, the package appeared to be a toolbox wrapped in duct tape. No explosives were found inside.
Looking ahead, state lawmakers head back to the Capitol this afternoon to start balancing the state's budget.
Yeah, this special session has to come up with $304 million. Governor John Bel Edwards has called for Republicans and Democrats to work together. The governor also wants to use some of the state's rainy day fund to help close the budget hole to avoid cuts to critical services. While some say the state's savings is needed, others disagree.
Rather than cutting universities and our colleges throughout the state and for cutting health care, I would not like to see any of the services that people get that are drastic for their well-being cut in any kind of way.
I think it's time for everyone to live within their means. And again, if every agency did what the governor has preached, by holding back the 5%, we have more than enough money to cover the shortfall without having to touch rainy day at all.
Well, on top of the cuts and the rainy day fund, lawmakers also have the option of raising fees levied by the state. No specific proposals just yet. Now, here's what the governor proposed to bridge the budget deficit in addition to using the state's rainy day fund. The governor's plan cuts the Department of Health, most of that affecting hospitals. Edwards' plan would spare cuts to education, the Department of Corrections, law enforcement, and children and family services. We have the governor's entire proposal posted at our website. You can check it out, WBRZ.com.
In other news, Louisiana Congressman Cedric Richmond apologizing for controversial comments he made about Trump's advisor, Kellyanne Conway. Last week, he commented during a dinner about the way Conway was sitting on the couch in the Oval Office during the president's meeting with HBCUs. He said she looked familiar in that position. Richmond released a statement saying he apologized to Conway and everyone who found his comments to be offensive. Looking ahead, an update from Governor John Bel Edwards about his meetings in Washington to get more flood recovery money.
The state is hoping to get an additional $2 billion in aid, and the governor heads home today after being in D.C. over the weekend. During his trip, the governor, along with several other governors, met with President Trump. Also, while in the nation's capital, he sat down with healthcare officials to discuss the future of Medicaid in Louisiana. We're going to hear from the governor about the outcome of his trip later this afternoon. Well, if you live in East Baton Rouge Parish and you haven't taken care of your property taxes, time is running out. Today's the deadline if you want to avoid late fees. The process was delayed this year due to the August flood, and notices went out late. Taxes are usually paid before the end of the year and claimed on that year's tax return. Paying them now means they'll be on next year's return.
We continue with the change in the Garden District. Some are not happy with.
Yeah, some new different houses are popping up in the area. Several smaller homes are now in the 100 Oaks area. Most houses in that neighborhood sprawl across 2 or 3 lots, but these new homes are the brainchild of a developer who had the idea to build one skinny longhouse per lot, making them more affordable.
We realized that in order to make money and for it to work out for us, that we needed to build 3 houses. We couldn't build 2 and we couldn't build 1. Because in order to pay the amount of money that we paid for it, if you built 1 house, you would have had to build a full $500,000 house.
Now, Crawford says expect to see many more smaller style houses as new residents continue to move into that neighborhood.
We continue this morning with 2 days until President-elect Donald Trump becomes the leader of the free world.
Dozens of Democrats are boycotting the inauguration on Friday, but a bigger fight could happen today on Capitol Hill over health care. ABC's Lana Zach explains. 6:30 on the dot. Good morning, South Louisiana. Welcome back to Tune In on this Wednesday, January 18th. I'm John Pastore.
Good morning. I'm Kylie Dixon. Our top story, another break-in at LSU's Tiger Stadium. Someone made it into the stadium over the weekend. It's unknown if anything was damaged. This is the 3rd time in about 2 months people have gotten into the stadium without permission. In November, the Eye of the Tiger was damaged, and earlier this month, someone rutted up the south end zone with an ATV. LSU police have not reported any arrests, but at least one incident was caught on security cameras. LSU will not release it while the case is under investigation.
Another big story we're following this morning, former President George H.W. Bush in the hospital. 92-year-old was admitted to Houston Hospital last night after becoming ill. Details about what's wrong haven't been revealed, but earlier this month, Bush's office announced that he and his wife won't be attending Friday's inauguration because of his health. Our top stories at 6 a.m. A state of emergency declared in 7 Louisiana parishes after a round of severe weather that spawned nearly 10 tornadoes. Dozens of people injured, but no lives lost.
And drama unfolding on the Senate floor in Washington ahead of a vote for another one of President Trump's controversial cabinet picks.
Our top stories on this Tuesday morning, the writing on the wall. Sheriff's investigators look for clues in the murder of a crime activist brother.
President Trump set to give his first address to a joint session of Congress. He's expected to outline his administration's big goals.
Throw me something, mister. It's the final day of carnival season. Thousands flock to the Big Easy to celebrate Mardi Gras.
Solutions to get around the Baton Rouge area. Residents weigh in on a long-term plan to get traffic moving.
CIA secrets revealed. WikiLeaks puts the government agency's business out there. Should you be concerned?
And we look at the progress made in South Louisiana after powerful tornadoes touched down 1 month ago. We'll have a live report in one of the hardest hit areas. LSU men's basketball coach Johnny Jones is in the hot seat. After 5 seasons, Jones could be out following a historically bad season. Jones reportedly will be fired once the Tiger season comes to an end. His record is 90-71. But this year's 2-16 SEC slate will likely cost him his job. Jones still has at least 1 more game to coach. The Tigers will take on Mississippi State in the first game of the SEC tournament tonight in Nashville.
Meanwhile, both Southern basketball teams headed to Houston this weekend. The next round of the SWAC tourney. Lady Jags beat Alcorn State last night 73-67. Ladies are looking to make a run at their first SWAC title since 2010. The men also winning last night, beating Jackson State 69-63. Both teams play again on Friday, hoping to advance to the finals on Saturday. The LSU gymnastic team made history last night, becoming SEC champs.
And it all happened at the PMAC in front of a record crowd. Over 12,600 fans in the stands, the 3rd most in program history. Ashley Knapp kicked things off. You saw it right there with a perfect 10 on vault. And it only got better from there for the team, dominating over Florida on the beam and even the floor.
Love those uniforms. Now, the Tigers already had a share of the regular season championship. Now the SEC championship belongs to the Tigers all by themselves. So congratulations to DD Bro. Look out for this team.
I know, awesome.
They are loaded.
The Zulu Parade will hit the streets of New Orleans this morning at 8. Their message this year, stop the violence.
Yeah, it's a party with a purpose. And if you're lucky, you're going to get one of these prize throws, a Zulu coconut.
Each is hand-painted, none the same. Kristen Pierce explains the process.
This is a freehand design of a face.
Taniqua McGee and her brother design hundreds of coconuts every year for Zulu.
So this is one we did free-handedly. We did a face on it. We put the 2 Z's on each side to represent Zulu.
They have shelves and tables full of them.
It's very exciting. We kind of encourage one another because he'll be like, oh yeah, that's it, that's the one. And then from there on, we'll create more of those. Or if it's not too good, he'll be like, we need something else on there.
Top hats, feathers, crowns, and cigars, just some of the special features on these special throws. But of course, no one really throws a coconut.
I'm not buying teddy bears, I'm not spending my money on beads, let's just get more and more coconuts. Coconuts are the thing of Mardi Gras.
Designing a coconut can take up to 20 minutes, and every year the duo decorate at least 700, which explains why they've been working on these since December.
Sometimes it's something we develop our signature ones, but most of them it's freehand.
But months of hard work is worth it when they hand a coconut off.
It's priceless, you know, to see the smiles on the people's face. You know, they're like, just give me one. It's just like, okay, here. There's no particular person. I just hand them out, you know.
You know, some people go to New Orleans just to catch a Zulu coconut.
And that's what you did last year.
Absolutely.
You caught both of these, huh?
I know the secret to capture.
What's that have? Put a camera in their face.
I'm not going to tell you.
That's the secret.